All right, the 2026 Honda ADV 160. Look, if you spent literally any time on the roads in the Philippines, you already know this machine. It is everywhere, right? It's completely taken the streets by storm. From your everyday city commuters weaving through tight traffic to the weekend warriors hitting those scenic mountain routes, this scooter seems to have universally won riders over. But today in this explainer, we really need to look past all that hype and ask some tough questions about what you're actually getting. And that brings us straight to the elephant in the room, the price tag. We are talking approaching 170,000 pesos, and even more if you go for the road sync version. That is not cheap entry-level transport anymore. I mean, at that price point, you're dangerously close to buying a full-on entry-level motorcycle. So, the big question we have to answer is it actually worth it? Are you getting a total package of performance and comfort that justifies dropping that kind of cash? Or are you simply paying a premium for that rugged adventure bike look? Especially when you've got fantastic rival models like the Yamaha NMAX and Aerox sitting right there on the showroom floor for a whole lot less money. Let's break it down.
Now, the very first thing that hits you is obviously the design. If you park the ADV 160 next to your standard daily commuter scooter, the difference is literally night and day. It genuinely looks like a miniature adventure motorcycle. You've got this aggressive front end, a tall adjustable windscreen, and these incredibly muscular, rugged body panels. Even though it's technically a small displacement scooter, it commands a massive amount of road presence. Honestly, Honda absolutely nailed the styling here. It looks modern and it undeniably feels premium.
But hey, looks aren't everything, right? So let's talk about what is actually under all that rugged plastic. 157. That's the displacement in cubic centimeters of Honda's proven liquid-cooled ESP Plus engine. Now, on paper, it's pushing out about 16 horsepower and nearly 15 newton-meters of torque. If you're coming from a much bigger motorcycle, those numbers might sound, well, a bit modest. But for a scooter operating in heavy stop-and-go traffic or cruising down the highway, this powertrain is remarkably effective.
And that actually points perfectly to the philosophy behind how this engine is tuned. It is built way more for everyday usability than outright speed. This is a really vital comparison to make, because if you're looking for that punchy, aggressive acceleration right off the line, a rival like the Yamaha Aerox might actually feel a bit sportier to you. The ADV 160? It's not going to win any drag races, but what it does offer is incredibly smooth, predictable, and refined power delivery. You twist the throttle and it moves briskly enough to easily stay ahead of city traffic, and it handles highway overtaking without feeling strained at all. It's just practical power.
This focus on everyday usability brings us to what I think is the scooter's absolute biggest selling point. If there is one single reason riders justify the higher price tag of the ADV over, say, an NMAX, it's right here: the Showa suspension setup. Let's be real, Philippine roads are basically a masterclass in varied terrain. We deal with potholes, broken pavement, uneven concrete, and endless speed bumps. Now, a rival like the NMAX is a fantastic, highly comfortable highway cruiser. But the ADV 160, with those premium Showa shocks, it takes rough roads entirely in stride. It literally just absorbs the harshness of broken pavement. You still feel the road, sure, but it is significantly less punishing on your back. If you're spending hours in the saddle every single day, this level of ride comfort is an absolute game changer.
Another massive factor for any commuter, of course, is running costs. Under normal riding conditions, the ADV 160 delivers an incredibly impressive 35 to 45 kilometers per liter. That is fantastic fuel economy when you consider its size, that heavy road presence, and the peppy 157cc engine. Combine that efficiency with its fuel tank capacity and you get excellent range. With fuel prices constantly bouncing around these days, having a daily rider that doesn't demand constant trips to the gas station is a huge win for your wallet.
Okay, so the fundamental mechanics are rock solid, but Honda also packed this thing with a seriously premium tech package to help build the case for that high asking price. You're getting full LED lighting everywhere, a super convenient smart key system, and absolute must-have safety features like ABS braking and Honda selectable torque control. It's highly practical too. You get a USB charging port right there and under-seat storage that's actually large enough to swallow your everyday essentials, including certain helmets. And if you go all out for the top-tier road sync version, you get this beautiful TFT display with smartphone connectivity for your navigation, calls, and music. The whole shebang. It really feels like a high-end machine from the exact second you turn it on.
But hey, we have to look at the whole picture objectively here. Every single machine has its compromises. On one hand, you get this outstanding ride comfort and really stable, confident cruising. The larger bodywork and that adjustable windscreen do an amazing job of preventing wind fatigue. But you also have to deal with the realities of that exact design. Because of its size and all the tech it carries, it's heavy, When you're parking or doing low-speed maneuvers in tight city spaces, you are definitely going to feel that extra weight compared to smaller, lighter scooters. On top of that, the seat height is quite tall. That can be pretty intimidating or just flat out uncomfortable for shorter riders when they need to securely put a foot down at a stoplight.
And we also need to manage expectations a bit, which brings us to a quick reality check. The rugged styling is awesome, no doubt about it. But the ADV 160 is fundamentally still a scooter, not a dirt bike. Please don't let the adventure bike aesthetics fool you into thinking you can go tackle serious off-road trails. I mean, yes, it will handle gravel paths, rough roads, and broken pavement better than almost any other scooter in its class, hands down, but it definitely has its limits. So, how do you actually decide if this is the right choice for you? Let's run through a quick daily commute checklist to help weigh those options. Number 1, if you just need basic, dirt-cheap transportation from point A to point B, look elsewhere. There are far more affordable scooters out there. Number 2, if you want maximum sporty performance and straight-line speed for your money, again, cheaper alternatives like the Aerox exist and might honestly suit you better. But number 3, if you spend hours navigating rough, pothole-filled roads and your back is just paying the price, buy this for the show of suspension. Literally. And finally, if you need one highly versatile machine that acts as a totally stress-free daily commuter all week and a comfortable touring explorer on the weekend, that is a very, very strong yes for the ADV 160.
And you know, that versatility is perfectly reflected in the final verdict and rating breakdown from the source material. Just look at where it scores the highest. Design and comfort both pull in a massive 9.5 out of 10. The features sit nicely at a 9.0. Performance is a very solid 8.5. Really, the only thing dragging the score down even slightly is value for money, coming in at an 8.0. And that's simply because of that pretty steep initial asking price. But altogether, it commands a super impressive 8.9 out of 10 overall. The big takeaway here is that the scooter's unparalleled comfort and striking design solidly justify its premium status in the market.
So here is the bottom line. It might not be the absolute cheapest, and it might not be the fastest off the line, but it does almost everything exceptionally well, wrapped up in a highly refined package. Which leaves us with one final thought to consider today. Knowing the differences in ride comfort, the premium features, and of course that hefty total price tag, would you invest your hard-earned money in the premium, go-anywhere package of the ADV 160, or would your daily commute actually be better served by keeping some cash in your pocket and looking toward excellent rivals like the NMAX or the Aerox? It's a tough choice, but hopefully this explainer gave you the clarity you need to decide. Thanks so much for joining me to break this down, and keep exploring.